स्वच्छ भारत का इरादा इरादा कर लिया हमने देश से अपने ये वादा कर लिया हमने।
एक पवित्र सी हवा बहेगी
उज्ज्वल उज्ज्वल हो भारत
कोना कोना निर्मल होगा
विश्व कहेगा जय भारत।
जाग उठेंगे भाग्य हमारे स्वच्छ बनेगा ये भारत।
स्वच्छ भारत का इरादा इरादा कर लिया हमने देश से अपने वादा कर लिया हमने। वादा कर लिया हमने।
Zero waste. What does zero waste even mean? Seriously, is zero waste even possible? How are we supposed to stop living in the 21st century and stop producing waste? Look at the mountain of waste I'm trekking through. Who can stop it? What? Is this for real? MYSURU, India's cleanest city, is turning into a zero-waste city? I can't believe it, not when I'm standing on this trash mountain. I want to see with my own eyes. MYSURU's proud army of waste workers dedicatedly set out to keep the city clean of its approximately 402 tons of waste daily. After all, they are the ones responsible for helping MYSURU achieve the distinction of India's cleanest city in the Swachh Bharat survey of 73 cities. It is a hard-earned achievement. Yet, it is clear that the MYSURU City Corporation, or MCC, wants to keep improving its waste management systems and achieve the target of a near-zero waste city in the future. Before 2011, waste in the MYSURU City Corporation area was predominantly dumped in the outskirts of the city. While efforts in waste management had started as early as 2002 by the MCC and the citizens groups, it was only in 2011 that the city launched an integrated solid waste management strategy. This system focuses on segregation of waste at source and subsequent processing in various zero waste management or ZWM plants. The objective is to ensure that only a small proportion of waste should eventually be dumped in landfills.
MYSURU City Corporation, we have got 65 wards. So in these 65 wards, totally we have got 9 zones. So these 9 zones have been divided into 3 respective zones, and 3 zones will be headed by 1 health officer. So whatever waste we are going to get in those particular wards, the waste will be collected and it will be sent to the ZWM plants.
A decentralized zero waste management system is a community-based municipal solid waste management system. It also generates revenue, employment, and safeguards the environment with minimal use of resources. A decentralized system also engages citizens for sustainable management and development. Since it was implemented, the system has steadily been able to reduce the amount of waste sent to landfills in MYSURU from 40% to 4%. Depending on its source of generation, the amount of wet, dry and hazardous component in waste varies. Waste is generated at sources like households, hotels and restaurants, marriage and community halls, commercial establishments and silt from street sweepings.
To the ZWM plants, we will be getting the domestic waste as well as the waste which is collected from commercial establishments, the hotels and chowdhuries, hostel. That is bulk generator waste that is collected separately. That waste will not be sent to ZWMs. Directly that will be sent to centralized compost plant which is there in the city.
Processing of waste begins at the point of its generation. The first step is the primary collection of waste. Waste is segregated as wet and dry in two different bins, red and green, provided by the MCC. This waste is then collected from houses by self-help groups in pushcarts and auto tippers through door-to-door collection. The MCC collects the plastic waste separately once a week from every household. The collected waste is transported to waste processing plants. Pushcarts and auto tippers take the waste for secondary and tertiary segregation to these plants. This works on the concept of bin-less waste management, where waste does not touch the ground until it reaches the treatment plant. The MCC has deployed 168 auto tippers and 396 pushcarts in its 65 wards for efficient collection. The objective of an effective waste management program is to reduce waste dumping and generate value out of waste collected. This zero waste management plant in MYSURU does exactly this by treating wet and dry waste to produce manure and recyclables for sale.
We will be getting the waste in this ZWM plant 9 from 10 different wards. So average of nearly 10 tons we will be receiving. So in the ZWM, once again the segregation occurs in a shredder. So there itself domestic waste which is collected will be segregated into wet waste and dry waste. In the dry waste again we will be getting clothes, we will be getting damaged slippers, tires, plastics, cardboards, broken glass pieces, everything. That will keep aside in the first stage itself.
The organic waste in the plant is separated into 3 distinct categories: cattle feed, coconut shells, and other organic waste. The cattle feed is fed to the cows on the plant. The plant tries to reuse most of the waste that it receives through natural processes. All other wet waste at the plant is composted through the process of vermicomposting. This waste is first dumped into composting pits and treated with cow dung slurry. It is then allowed to decompose for 45 days. This decomposed waste is then transferred to another facility where it is subjected to vermicomposting. In vermicomposting, earthworms are used to compost waste in a non-thermophilic process to generate soil-enriching manure. The vermicompost is packaged and sold to farmers at a nominal cost of 12 rupees per kilogram.
Most of the garbage was removed by the like required by the porokarmikas. So we used to only get the wet waste. Again, the normal ordinary compost will cost around 2 rupees to 2 rupees 20 paisa per kg in the market. With that small amount of money, we were not able to sustain this plant. So what we did is, we converted this wet waste into different forms. So we converted that into vermicompost. Vermicompost will cost around 12 rupees in the market. 12 rupees, in some places it is still selling up to 16 rupees per kg. And with the vermicompost, we make compost tea also. Again, that is acts as a very nutrient enricher.
For financial sustainability, the plant also looked at other products that they could produce from the waste that they received. The plant also produces panchgavya, which is popularly used as a fertilizer and pesticide. It is made by mixing cow dung with cow urine, jaggery, banana, curd and clarified butter or ghee. Panchgavya is used to fertilize plants, which results in 30% more yield and gives resistance against disease. The cow urine is also used to produce natural pesticide in combination with neem leaves.
Panchagavya, it is like the cost of 1 liter of bottle is around 100 rupees. Like that, we started making the revenue out of the waste. So only with the waste, like we earn around 60 to 70,000 rupees per month.
The plant also receives huge quantities of coconut shells discarded from homes and commercial establishments. The shells in the plant go through pyrolysis or decomposition at a high temperature to produce biochar. Biochar is a valuable soil nutrient. The plant sells it at 125 rupees per kilogram.
Coconut shells, we are going to put in a container at a very high temperature. It is burnt and then we'll be getting a biochar. That is a byproduct. This biochar is highly effective. It is acting like an activated carbon and that is used for purification of water.
The dry component primarily consists of plastic. Plastics thinner than 40 microns undergo pyrolysis and are used to generate fuel at the plant. All other plastic is sold as recyclables in the market and is locally known as pugga.
The plastics, what we get, we segregate into less than 40 microns plastic and more than 40 microns plastic. Anyway, more than 40 microns plastic, that has got a very good market value. So that will be recycled, and less than 40 microns value plastics, that will be melted once again at a very high temperature and we get a crude oil. That oil is used as furnace oil and it has got its importance in industries. So all these products, whatever we are getting waste, we are converting it to something good.
All the workers are villagers who live nearby, and this has provided a source of livelihood for many. The zero waste management system also takes care of the personnel involved. The workers are given personal protection equipment like masks, helmet, gloves, raincoat and gumboots. All workers are provided tools and equipment to avoid direct contact with the waste. To ensure that their health is not adversely affected by their work, they undergo medical checkups once every 3 months. This waste management plant is slowly discovering a way to generate value out of waste. It is constantly working to scale up its production to break even.
Now the cost per ton of the work is coming around 400 rupees per ton. So now the revenue generation is around 280 rupees. So the remaining 120 still we are in a deficit. Scaling, we are going for more number of earthworm pits, and now we are going for the plastic to fuel. Again, we'll be generating revenue out of that, and also we are going for the panchagavya in a larger scale. So, and also this biochar has got a huge export value. It has got a huge value in Sweden as well as in Australia. So we are planning to export this biochar into these countries.
To maintain its proud position as the cleanest city, the MCC has announced 2 more solid waste management plants to process 200 tons each in Kesare and Rayanakere. It is an important strategy to ensure that the city creates the necessary capacities to process the increasing waste as the city expands. MYSURU has set up an effective example for other two-tier cities in the country to adopt. The MCC has realized that citizen participation and source segregation need to be combined to ensure that the city remains clean. The model, if replicated in other Tier 2 cities, can truly work towards the vision of achieving Swachh Bharat.